What's the dumbest thing you've ever heard? 1. A girl in math class didn't understand fractions. We got down to this because the teacher was explaining something else. Pretty simple, but she didn't understand, so the teacher broke it down and figured out she didn't get fractions. Well, that's a little odd, but with a minute of explanation, she should get it. Nope. The teacher asked, what is larger, a half or a third? The girl said, 3 is more than 2, so 1/3 is larger. The teacher drew 2 circles on the board, divided one into 2 parts and the other into 3 parts. Which is bigger? The girl gave the same answer. The teacher erased both circles, grabbed 2 pieces of paper, ripped one in half and the other into thirds, and held up a piece of each. Which one is larger? The girl pointed to the 1/3 piece. Forgetting there were more pieces, the teacher binned the rest, holding up the 2 initial pieces again. Just look at the size. Which one is larger? The girl pointed to the smaller one, again defeated. The teacher lowered his arms and walked back to his desk. Please take no offense in this, but are you familiar with the words and concepts of smaller and larger? He asked, as the class turned more Sesame Street-like by the second. The girl said she was. The teacher pointed outside. See those trees? Which is larger, the right or the left? Left, the girl said, and she was right. The left tree was about 5 meters taller. Then which piece of paper is larger? Holding them up again, the girl pointed to the smaller piece, and the teacher walked out of the classroom. 2. When I did tattoos, a guy came into the shop wanting Mr. 113 inches tattooed on his wrist. Not really all that out of the ordinary. We got it drawn up. My coworker placed the stencil, and she started to do the tattoo. As soon as she started, the guy screamed in pain and jumped up. What the hell is in that thing? Is there a needle in there? That shit hurts. What? This guy was in his 30s or 40s. How do you not know how tattoos are done? He said, I don't know. I just thought it was some kind of permanent ink or something. The guy went outside for almost an hour to smoke and hype himself up. He got the outline done at least, but couldn't take the pain anymore and didn't get it filled. Still can't believe he didn't know tattoos were done with a needle. 3. I used to work in a grocery store. This elderly woman said, 25 cents a pound? I can get them for £4 for $1 at Safeway. 4. My mum once asked if they had wind in Canada. 5. I drive for Uber on the weekends, and one time, a girl in her late 20s told me I was making her uncomfortable. I hadn't said a word the whole trip, so I asked how I could make the situation better. She said she didn't like how I kept playing with the fidget stick in the middle of my car. I drive a manual. She then told me I didn't need to use that because her car didn't have it, and she claimed to be a mechanic. 6. If I could find a country that didn't take immigrants, I'd move there. 7. I was in a college class, and we were talking about agriculture. Being from a farming town, I was explaining how important certain aspects of farming are, interesting and super important. This one student wasn't budging and refused to accept anything I said. I asked her why she was so against farming, and she said, I think we should get rid of all of them. We don't need them. I asked her if she liked to eat, and she said we would be fine, we could just get food from the stores. I asked how she planned on getting that food into the store, and she responded with, well, they already make all the food in the store as it is, right? Why do we need farms? They're stealing money from our local businesses. So, in a nutshell, she thought everything, flowers, fish, chicken, bread, and everything, was made in stores, which is why we don't need farms. 8. Years ago, I had a friend over, and we were talking about my plasma TV. He said he would never buy a plasma TV because he didn't want to have to replace the plasma when it ran out. I didn't correct him. I thought it would be best if he didn't buy a plasma TV. 9. Oxygen doesn't come from trees. It comes from the air.